The Superman movie comes out on the 11th officially, which is 1 week away. The UK had a red carpet event, although it was kind of freaking pointless. Showed 20 minutes of footage, some clips here and there, a sizzler reel. What was the point in that event? But that's not the point in this video. So, the review embargo is up on the 8th, which is this coming Tuesday. Someone's broke review embargo massively to the point where they've taken their review down, but this sounds like a combination of The Flash and the Joss Whedon movie. Now, of course, this is only one person's opinion, but the article does go on to say this is a quite respected person. They've not listed who it's from. So, like I always say, there's no point me going over the insane good reactions from these fan screeners, which essentially the UK had. They called it like a red carpet fan event, but it's 30 minutes. So people were praising 30 minutes of this movie, right? As it made me cry in the first 1 minute of the movie. What the frickin' hell? Okay, maybe that's true. But this review is interesting. And it's only one person's review. But I'm not like other people. You can't just go over the glazing material. You can't just report stuff when people say this is the greatest movie ever. Just like they did with The Flash. And The Flash came out and the general audience didn't gel with it. Some people thought it was cool. So, yo, what is freaking good YouTube voice you have? You're new around here. Subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel DCKs, you what's the verse? Pop culture-based content that I try to deliver on a daily basis. Damn, I've not done this intro in a while. I thought I'd throw it in. If you are new around here, subscribe. Check us out on Instagram at Warstu to see that beautiful face behind the beautiful face. And check us out on Twitter, Warstu. Check us out on TikTok, Warstu. So, Superman's first review calls DCE reboot superficial, silly, and bemoans terrible, overstuffed movie. I mean, the character list: Superman, Lois Lane, Green Lantern Guy Gardner, Hawkgirl, Mr. Terrific, Lex Luthor, Mesomorpho, Engineer, Perry White, Jimmy Olsen, Cat Grant. God, this is a long list. Is this a Justice League movie? Max Lord, Flag Senior, Supergirl, most likely, Ultraman, potentially standing in for Bizarro. What the and we've not even got into it. I mean, that's a long list of characters. So, the first Superman review has been published from a major outlet, and it's overwhelmingly negative, arguing that very little works in James Gunn's first big screen edition in a new DCU. Check it out. We're going to go over it. It's worth saying, James Gunn's never really had a bad general audience score or a bad critic score. The review embargo for Superman lifts next week. However, the Daily Beast inadvertently published its verdict last night. And whilst the site took it down pretty damn fast, it was up long enough to quite a stir amongst fans on social media. Because everyone keeps saying this is the greatest movie ever. They said that with a Flash, though. And then Black Adam, they said that with Black Adam. We won't name and shame said critic, as the reviewer's publication isn't their fault. However, they are well respected and have a history of writing for publications including Variety, Esquire magazine. They also are no hater, as the critic in question has positively reviewed the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 Spider-Man, Across the Spideyverse, and Thunderbolts. The review begins by saying the reboot resembles a Saturday morning cartoon that's overstuffed. It promises plenty of action, but adds that the film is a washed in over-the-top CGI insanity that is slam, bang, mayhem, loses its punch. Okay. Yeah, this will be hard for the general audience. Okay, we've got to go on the requisite this is true. You got to understand, this movie is not made for fans. Actually, that's the problem here. This movie is made for superhero Superman fans, but in order for it to be a financial success, it's the general audience. And as we listed, there's over 10 characters, including the Justice Gang, which are in this movie for no freaking reason. Let's go on. The cast also doesn't receive much in the way of praise. Whilst the review points out David Cornsweet looks the part, compared to Christopher Reeve and Henry Cavill, he comes across as relatively slight. A situation excavated by all the over-the-place nature of his saga. It is interesting, right? Because you see these early reactions from people that seen literally 20 minutes of the movie, glazing the hell into this movie, and then this dude comes out, who's apparently got a really cool track record in the industry, and basically says the movie sucks. But it'll be interesting to see what this actual review says when it comes out next week from the Daily Beast. Damn, that is a bad review, isn't it? Basically saying, yeah, David looks like Superman, but compared to Henry Cavill, who is well received and loved, and Christopher Reeve, who's well loved, he comes across relatively slight. A situation exploited by all the over-the-place nature of his saga. Basically saying the movie, okay, it gets worse, lads. It sounds like Superman rarely lets up, as the movie reportedly asked audiences to hold on for dear life as it whiplashes about from one out of this world locally, an incident to another. There are also concerned that non-fans will find themselves adrift due to the movie's endless geekiness, whilst James Gunn's script accused of only feigning interest in actual emotion. God damn! Well, James Gunn has come out and said there's like 10,000 Easter eggs. I get it. He wants this to be a love letter to Superman fans, but it's like I keep saying, this movie has been made for comic book fans, but it's the general audience that makes movies bang. Every single Jurassic World movie, except for the first one released in 1997, has done over $1 billion. I wonder why, because it's made for the general audience. The humor is said to be lacking, as is the relationship between Clark Kent and Lois Lane. Now, I keep saying this, and everyone keeps saying, oh my God, they're like, it looks like they're really in a relationship in real life. No, David's married. Make that what you want, right? But I keep seeing brother-sister vibes in the trailers and stuff. And people are like, yeah, well, Stu, you're so biased. You're such a hater. No, I'm just telling you exactly what I think. Nicholas Holt's performance is overshadowed by the haphazard plot, largely because Superman gets tangled up in fanciful nonsense that soon renders the entire affair superficial and silly. Now, I get it. Everyone's like, yeah, we don't want a dark movie. Well, the main star, David's literally said he wants a Superman R-rated movie. So what are you going to say that, lads? So it seems like the early test screen reactions is this person's reaction when they came out and said this movie's pretty damn stupid and all over the place. But again, this is only one person's opinion, but it's the person's opinion that has a pretty good track record and is written for some pretty top respected trades. And he's not a hater. He likes Guardians of 3, likes Thunderbolts, likes Across the Spider-Verse. But this review gets even worse. Most troubling is the comparison to Joss Whedon, Justice League as Superman. It populates itself with heroes and villains it has neither the time nor the inclination to develop. Consequently, everyone and everything is two-dimensional. No matter, the director's imagery is sharp and vibrant. The only positive thing so far is the imagery is sharp and vibrant. So there's too many characters, too many villains. There's not enough time for the storyline to develop. It's a 2-hour, 10-minute movie-ish. You've got over 12 characters in it. You've got multiple villains. There's like Lex Luthor's like the engineer. There's like this Ultraman Bizarro character. And the final thing here is insane. And to top it off, the headline is, Terrible New Superman is the final nail in the superhero cinema coffin. As you can see here, the review is negative from start to finish. And while it is only one verdict, if this is indicative of what we can expect to see next week, it doesn't bode well for Superman. There are already rumblings about a lower than expected opening weekend if reviews and subsequent word of mouth isn't very good. Then the Man of Steel is likely to have a disastrous second weekend, even if it gets off to a strong start. Goes on to say, for all we know, every single other review will be glowing. However, this one raises some major concerns, suggestions that Superman won't be the much needed refresh start for the DC's brand so desperately needed. It's worth saying that I should be watching this movie just when the review embargo lifts. And unlike other people, I'm not going to say it's the greatest comic book movie ever. I haven't got a review already written like some people do before they watch movies. It doesn't seem like this is going to be the greatest movie ever. Why? Because a lot of stuff this person's saying lines up with test screen information, and test screen information does normally line up with indicative of the final product. We just got to look at how bad people said Captain America 4 was during test screening, and it was bad, and they changed a bunch of stuff. We just have to see how bad some people said the Flash movie was, and it wasn't great like every internet social media influencer wannabe said, and that Flash movie turned out to be bad. I think the only one they got wrong, in my opinion, was I thought Black Adam was pretty decent. So like always, guys, let us know, is Superman doomed from day one? Because if Superman don't do well, Kara Zor-El, Supergirl, gonna do well at all. Don't attack me down below, lads. I'm just reporting this article because for some reason, people are trying to bury this review. I get it, they've broke NDA, but anyone can talk about review, and it's not very positive at all. And seeing as they've already seen it, they know more than us, lads. So like always, guys, I'll catch you in another video very soon. Catch ya later.